a lot of my friends were actually jealous of me, my success, and that I was a part of Bengali film and serials and doing Chokhet Bali and Parineeta and all of that. Yeah, and talking about Bollywood movies, I'm gonna be honest, I did not get very good projects, to be honest with you. I wouldn't say that Bollywood is only about movies, but it is also about daily soaps. And when I got Uttaran, I think I was very happy doing that show. Definitely casting couches and all those wrong phone calls. I got a lot of offers from South movies as well, but nothing was a smooth ride for me, for sure. Like, I was on the verge of signing contracts while I was doing Uttaran. Like, so many South movies I got, but nothing was, where I can just pour out my heart and say, okay, I can do this. There are very few actor friends whom I can actually call my friend per se in the industry, you know. So लोगों को ऐसा लगता था, oh my god, रश्मि और टीना का झगड़ा चल रही है, जो भी है. हालांकि ऐसा कभी भी कुछ भी नहीं था. And right now also we are like great friends in terms of relationship. Ego कभी नहीं होना चाहिए, you know. बिल्कुल भी नहीं. Especially if you're friends with someone or if you're dating someone. I only believed in one thing कि actors के life में ना success is momentary.
Hello and welcome to Let's Talk with Bollywood Bubble. The guest today joining us is somebody really special, and I say so because this particular person has been very relatable to me in terms of her personality. In this world full of filters, sugar-coated validations and people hiding behind screens and giving you the feedback that they give, finding somebody who's so gutsy, who's so strong-headed, who's so blunt is a rarity, and that for us is Tina Datta.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Nawaz. Thank you.
Welcome to the show, Tina.
Thank you.
In this library of life, there are a lot of books that, we probably have closed and, it's in the past. But today with this conversation, we are going to reopen some of them and, revisit some very sweet, some very not so good memories. But it's at the end of the day, it's going to be a very wholesome conversation.
Amazing.
So I want to begin asking you that how was Tina as a child?
I was a brat. I was naughty. I was extremely naughty. But I wasn't a troublesome kid when it comes to my parents, and I wasn't demanding at all ki I want this Barbie or I want that teddy bear or nothing at all. But I was studious, studious in the sense I would just study right before my exams. It's not like the entire year I'm studying or whatever. Matlab exams ke ek hafte pehle tak I will just read, and I was so my memory is very sharp. That's why they call me Ratta Queen on set, so I will just go through my scene just once and then I'm done. I'm good to go wala scene. So yeah, that way I was studious, but I was always in a co-ed school, so I used to trouble all the boys, and I was mostly friends with all the guys over there, and I would trouble all the boys. Like I was very troublesome, and I was extremely talkative.
But were you also very social? Like, it was very easy for you to make friends and all?
Honestly, if I have to be really honest, Nawaz, it was kind of tad bit difficult. You know why? Because there were some friends even on those school days, जहाँ पे हम सब इतने छोटे उम्र के होते हैं. A lot of my friends were actually jealous of me, my success, and that I was a part of Bengali film and serials and doing Chokhet Bali and Parineeta and all of that. So they would just bitch about me and rat out on me and tell the professors or the teachers that अरे इसने homework नहीं किया, इसने ऐसे किया, देखो इसका homework complete नहीं है. But the best part is the teachers were always very, 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 very supportive about me. They knew that I was doing my classes also. I would do my homework also as much as I can. And simultaneously I was working. Like immediately the school would get over and I would just take my bag, take the metro, and then I would rush for my shoot, while doing makeup and while getting ready I will finish my lunch. So I was extremely hardworking, which my teachers also could see. So उसमें excused हो जाते थे. That भी पड़ती थी teachers से because of some of the students. But yeah, and imagine now when you have reached a point when you're successful in life and those people have actually become my friends and they chat with me on Facebook or they're still in touch with me and all of that. So सब अपनी किस्मत लेके आते हैं. I believe in that. And आपका destiny ना, nobody can take your destiny away from you. That's what my father has always told me. So आप किसी के success से jealous होके क्या ही कर सकते हो? आप अपना खून boil कर सकते हो. Rather be happy, be positive. Just be happy for everyone else out there, Just be happy for their success. Why to be jealous? Why to try and pull them down? Rather you work hard towards it, and be successful. Matlab, get motivated by seeing them, yeah.
you started very early. If I'm not wrong, you were 5 when you started.
Four and a
working.
half, yeah.
Yeah, 4.5. And as a kid, being on that set and, having so much glamour around you, how was that feeling?
I was cranky. I used to be very cranky. I'm not going to lie to you. I used to cry so much and I just wanted to go home. But my dad would have a lot of patience. And, my dad actually really worked very hard those days. Mom, of course, was looking after the house. I had an elder brother, so she had to look after everything, the family. Born and brought up in a joint family. So, mom did not have to look after every one of them. But yeah, a lot of responsibilities and stuff. So dad would drop me and then he would just go to his office and finish his work and quickly wrap up and come. So dad really worked hard, so today where I am, I think 90% of it actually goes to my parents, and I wouldn't have been I wouldn't have been where I am today without their support. So yeah, I used to cry and I used to call up dad and I'm like, I want to go home, take me back
And what
home.
would he say?
And he's like, just have patience, you're doing good for yourself. And then eventually after a certain point, when you realize that, okay, people are loving you and you start falling in love with the characters, with acting, and, it becomes a passion. So you start doing it more passionately and you start enjoying it. Of course, when you are 5.5, 6, 7, इतनी छोटी उम्र में क्या ही समझ में आता है. Exactly, but today's day, if you see the kids, those singers and dancers at 6 years of age, they are fab and they know exactly where they want to be in their, eventually after 20 years down the lane.
But that's also because of the age, the digital age that we are in.
True that.
Was Tina always a daddy's girl?
Yeah, still her daddy's girl. So yeah, I think daughters are always daddy's girl. Yeah, they are kind of attached. Like my Raksha Bandhan would also be with my dad. In spite of having an elder brother, I will go and tie Rakhi to him. My Valentine's Day also, my Valentine used to be my dad.
So you probably gradually fell in love with the craft, and धीरे धीरे करके you've probably grown up in the industry. We can say that, right?
Yeah.
But what was that? Do you remember that one moment in your formative years where you probably realized that, oh my god, I'm famous?
So there was this show called Khala. It was produced by Ravi Oja and Mitali Bhattacharya. She's a great story writer. She was writing for Uttaran as well. And Ravi Oja, he was a producer who's no more. So, I got this character called Khala, this show called Khala, where my character was kind of a grey character. And I was not very pro with a grey character or my performance wise and all of that. I did a couple of mytho shows, I did a couple of daily soaps where I was the main lead, or probably main lead का जो भाई है उनकी बहन है and right hand paralyzed हूँ मैं थोड़ा सा, ऐसे सब character कर लिया था. लेकिन grey character was the first time I was portraying a grey shade, and I was in my 6th or 7th standard, and I had to ace that character, nail it, because she was the main protagonist in the show, antagonist, sorry. So I was just not getting the character right, and then Ravi sir would call me for workshops at his office, and I used to be very, 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 very scared. I'm like, oh my god. And he had that personality, he had that aura, So he actually made me fall in love with the character, and he actually taught me how to feel a character, how to emote or present a character the way it is. अब वो मुझे बताते थे कि अगर रोने का सीन है, so you need to feel अंदर से, ऐसा कोई मेमोरी आप याद करो जिससे आपको बहुत हर्ट होता है या बहुत पेन होता है या something that makes you immensely joyful. So that show actually made me really, really famous, and that's when I realized that, okay, I think I want to be an actor when I grow up. And when people started loving, and then I started getting calls from Bollywood, and actually after that show is when Bollywood started happening with me.
That's so after that only Parineeta happened?
After that, yes, Parineeta happened, and then after that Koi Aane Ko Hai happened eventually after 2 years. So yeah, that was a show, that was a long running show, and that was the number 1 show in Colors, in Kolkata.
Just a few days back I was watching Parineeta, and all of a sudden I spot this very familiar face on screen, and I'm like, wait, that is Tina Datta.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. So, Bollywood happened for you. Why didn't it continue?
It did. I wouldn't say that Bollywood is only about movies, but it is also about daily soaps. And when I got Uttaran, I think I was very happy doing that show because when in my growing up days, when I used to watch Kyuki Saas Bhi Kahi Bahu Thi, Smriti Irani ma'am, I've told it in a couple of interviews also. She's like my role model, and I used to look up to her, and I was like, one day when I want to be like her, I want to act the way she does. When I would see her do some emotional scenes on screen, and I would get tears watching her on screen. So I'm like, ऐसे होना चाहिए कि मुझे देख के मेरे रोने के scenes देख के audience भी मेरे साथ रोए. So yeah, and talking about Bollywood movies, I'm gonna be honest, I did not get very good projects, to be honest with you. So if I had gotten like good character, good projects, then definitely I would have been game. Like पैसे भी मत दो यार, it's okay, but I just want to be a part of it. But yeah, it's a lot of it's not easy getting Bollywood movies.
Probably
is not
that
easy.
time the industry was very different. It was,
And even
breaking through was
digital
difficult.
media, digital media and all of that was also not that very strong, where word of mouth publicity ho jaye, jaise ki aaj hai Instagram, social media, which actually helps you a lot to in promotional activities and stuff like that. All those things were also not there. So agar 100 में से probably 60% people would know that okay, I've done this particular movie or I've done this. So things were different.
What were the difficulties? Probably, like you said, the great offers weren't coming from Bollywood that time, and the industry had a certain kind of a notion or a perception. It was more male dominated, to be honest. So were there, these kind of difficulties also that, as a girl you faced or you struggled to
Yeah,
cut
yeah,
through
absolutely.
the
A
competition?
lot of these struggles, definitely casting couches and all those wrong phone calls. I got a lot of offers from South movies as well, but nothing was a smooth ride for me for sure. Like, I was on the verge of signing contracts while I was doing Uttaran. Like, so many South movies I got, but nothing was, where I can just pour out my heart and say, okay, I can do this. There were a lot of difficulties. It was not an easy ride. So till date, whatever South projects I get, it's not like कि, okay, ठीक है, कर सकते हैं वाला.
You've started off at a very early age, and probably life happens to everybody. सबका teenage आता है, सबका adulthood आता है, and different phases, like सबका वो phase होता है.
Correct.
Teenage is difficult. Adulthood is also very hard to, gel up
Absolutely.
with, to be honest. But I want to understand from you that is there a moment, or when there are moments where कि अच्छा, I can make a stupid decision here. How does one hold back, or वो उस age में when
I
you are
have
in an
made
industry
so
like
many
this?
stupid decisions. I'm not gonna lie. I have made a lot of stupid decisions, but I think that is okay, Nawaz. That's how you learn in life. That's how you grow in life, and I think that's the biggest lesson. कितना भी आप किताब पढ़ लीजिए या जो भी, the life lessons that you learn eventually is actually the bestest lessons. But again, you can't repeat your mistakes again and again. Once you have done it, it's okay, it's understood, it was a mistake. You were stupid, you were naive when you fell for things or whatever. Second time, but not the third time for sure. So you just have to learn from your mistakes. And I also feel that it only makes you stronger eventually in the long run, and makes you more intellectual and makes you a very strong personality.
Like I mentioned in the beginning of the interview that you are somebody who's very strong-headed, very gutsy, very blunt, and we've seen that on Bigg Boss last year.
Correct.
But what also stayed with me on Bigg Boss is I remember on the stage, the day of the premiere, when you came on stage, you told something to Salman Khan about your friendships. That you are very possessive about the bonds you make, and you are very possessive of your friendships. Does that still hold?
Absolutely.
It's been the case?
Yeah. I am possessive about my friends. I'm protective about my friends. More than being possessive, I think possessiveness comes out of protectiveness, because when you really care for that person, and when you don't want anybody to harm your friend, your special person whom you really love with all your heart, so you actually tend to be possessive, कि आपको लगता है कि अच्छा ठीक है, I think that company is not the right company for you, or this is not the right thing, or this is not the right decision probably for you, so think twice. And that's when you become protective, and that protectiveness is sometimes termed as possessiveness. Right. So I think it's not wrong. I am protective, I'm possessive about my friends like Ashka, Aneri, Dolly, and all of them, to mention a few. So yeah, I love them with all my heart.
But did you manage to make friends very easily in the industry also?
No. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not that easy. I mean, I am friends with all my co-stars, my colleagues and stuff, but there are very few actor friends whom I can actually call my friend per se in the industry, you know, because what happens is not everyone is going to be happy with your success. Not everybody is going to wish the best for you, you know. On your face, probably they will, but behind your back, they are not gonna wish the best for you. So you have to choose very wisely, you know. I'm not joking. 15 years, 10 years probably down the line, I used to have house parties almost every weekend where there would be like 20 friends, and now, to be very very precise, I have like 4 to 5 friends which I can count on my palm. And I think मेरी आशका ये चीज़ बोलती है कि आपके 5 दोस्त हैं ना, आपकी मुट्ठी बंद हो जाती है, and you are strong. You don't need 50 friends to give you company, you know.
And
those
not
5
everybody can
friends
be your friend.
will always, absolutely, not everyone, you know. And this industry, it's very difficult to find a true friend who's actually an industry friend. So there are a lot of things, probably work related or something, which you would want to confide in your friend, you know. And if he or she is a part of this industry, then sometimes you have to think, sometimes you have to,
Right.
you know, sugarcoat and stuff like that. वो मेरे से बिल्कुल भी नहीं होता है. मैं बहुत ही मुंह फट हूँ. If I like you, I like you. If I don't like you, I don't like you. वाला zone.
And that shows on your face, let me tell you.
You know, Nawaz, there have been times where people are like, okay, if I don't like you, I'll be like, hi, what's up? It's like that, you know, my interaction with you is gonna be like that, all well, yeah. And I'm so expressive, it actually does show on my face, और लोगों को समझ आ जाता है, okay, she's giving me cold vibes, such a bitch she is, but okay, I'm not being bitchy, but you know, I mean, I don't get that vibe from you. What am I supposed to do?
You know, sometimes I feel that actors are in a very precarious position, to be honest, because dosti ho, jhagde ho, it gets out very fast. And once it's out, it's everywhere in the media. There have been reports about, you know, your also friendships going haywire. Or, you know, even for that matter, I remember once reading a report about, you know, Rashami Desai and your fight on Uttaran. And I was like, yaar, matlab, it's okay, it's human nature to happen, things like these. But how do you deal with, you know, things like these?
So, you know, talking about Rashmi, me and Rashmi are actually very good friends, you know. But when you're doing a daily show where she is the, portraying a grey character and I'm the positive lead in the show, so there tend to happens कि जब हम scene कर रहे हैं और उस mood में है, because as an actor you have to be in your character. So it can't be like, okay, you're a robot, on किया, perform किया, off किया, perform हो गया. You know, it doesn't work like that with actors. So you are in that character, you are in that mind frame, you are in that zone. So लोगों को ऐसा लगता था, oh my god, रश्मि और टीना का झगड़ा चल रहा है, जो भी है, हालांकि ऐसा कभी भी कुछ भी नहीं था. And right now also we are like great friends, and she's my neighbor, we stay in the same society, you know. So it's nothing like that. But yeah, again, like when your show is successful, rumors tend to float and stuff like that, and gone are those days. I mean, those days now, people really did not have a great PR, or you know, PR activity wasn't that strong where, you know, you can dilute the news, or you can probably tell out to the media that this is not what exactly has happened, you know, and your point of view and your side of the story. ये सब नहीं हो पाता है. अभी things are much more easier and much more pleasant and all of that. But yeah, talking about handling things, I think it doesn't really affect me. I would probably, I'm a person like you also know, I'm very straightforward. मेरे को अगर कुछ बुरा लगा या कुछ article देखा, and if someone else is also talking about me, I'll walk up to you and say, hey, did you say this about me, or what is it? What is the issue? So I believe in clearing the air rather than keeping it to myself and holding on to grudges, because that's not how I function, and I feel that's not how it's going to help me also in the long run. So it's better that let the world talk whatever the world wants to talk. लोगों का तो काम ही है कहना. So you can't really stop everyone and give explanation and justifications.
You know, I have to say this, what I've always liked about you, or you know, while I was even reading up on you, what I liked was कि आपकी जर्नी में एक बड़ा काम आए, छोटा काम आए, you never valued it or, you know, weighed it that way. For you, work was work. Being relevant in the industry, I think so mattered for you. And that is why, नहीं तो usually क्या होता है, actors, once they get a successful project, it, you know, probably they are like, oh, I am so and so, and this role is probably below me, but that's never been the case for you. So what, like, why was that an approach always?
You know, so when Uttaran happened, and then when Uttaran was very, 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 very successful, not only in India but worldwide, so I only believed in one thing, कि actors के life में ना success is momentary. यू नो. एंड एवरीबडी, इट्स अ साइकिल ऑफ लाइफ. आज आप बहुत सक्सेसफुल है, टचवुड, कल शायद आपका टाइम उतना सक्सेसफुल नहीं रहा, एंड इट्स अ ग्राफ, यू नो, देयर विल बी अप्स एंड डाउन्स. So today I will hold a lot of air and I'll be like, oh my god, I'm Tina Datta, my show is super successful, who are you, I don't care,
27
ऐसे
years
वाला,
in the industry.
yeah. Oh my god, not bad. So yeah, it doesn't really work like that with me, you know. So and especially in daily soaps, अगर आपका शो बहुत सक्सेसफुल रहा है, there are times that probably another year or two you're not working. After Uttaran, it was very difficult for me to get work because the character was so etched in people's heart that people could actually not project me or see me in some other character. So channels, even if I would audition, even if I would have been selected, they still can't think. And the channel people were like, अगर हम आपको बिठा नहीं पा रहे इस character में, let alone how will the audience feel, और audience कैसे आपको accept करेंगे किस दूसरे character में. So if you see those days, whatever the big fat shows were, you know, all the actors, it took some time for them to get into another show or get into another character, step into another character. सो येस, इट वॉज डिफ़िकल्ट, बट आई फील कि कोई भी काम छोटा नहीं होता है यार. मतलब सबका काम इक्वली इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. अगर आज आपके हाउसर भी आपके घर पे आते हैं तो उनका भी काम छोटा नहीं होता है. उनके बिना आपका ज़िंदगी गुजारा नहीं जाएगा. अगर वो टाइम पे आते हैं तो आप टाइम पे काम पे जा सकते हैं. सो इट्स ऑल अ साइकिल, इट्स ऑल अ पैटर्न, एंड यू हैव टू सी इट दैट वे, एंड यू हैव टू बी रिस्पेक्टफुल टुवर्ड्स अदर्स, अदरवाइज इट डजंट रियली वर्क.
That's a beautiful approach to have. But also tell me one thing, Big Boss 16 last year that happened for you. It was quite a bumpy ride.
Absolutely.
Somewhere I felt that Tina Datta was unnecessarily vilified. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree to that. And I think it is not easy to be a part of the show if you're a strong-headed, opinionated, independent woman who's got a voice of her own, because then तो आपको दबाया ही जाएगा. So अगर आप opinionated है, you take anybody's name, you take Archana's name, you take
Yes.
Priyanka, who was strong, who were opinionated, who had a point of view of their own, who could speak up for themselves. हर हफ्ते उन्हीं को ही बैश किया जाता था. एंड दिस इज़ अ शो विच इज़ अ वेरी ट्रिकी शो यार. मतलब आप करो तो भी आप गलत, नहीं करो तो भी आप गलत. मतलब आप कंटेंट दो, मस्ती करो तो भी आप गलत कि आपने इस तरह का कंटेंट क्यों दिया. अगर आप कंटेंट ना दो, चुपचाप बैठे रहो तो भी आप गलत कि आप पैसे ले रहे हो लेकिन आप चुपचाप कंटेंट नहीं दे रहे हो तो भी आप गलत. सो इट्स वेरी ट्रिकी एंड यू नीड टू रियली फाइंड टू स्ट्राइक अ बैलेंस विच इज़ वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट इनसाइड दैट हाउस. एंड no matter what, see, again, people are not watching the show 24/7. Right. Like even today people would troll me and tell me things like, oh, she's not a dog lover, she's such a bitch, she's this, that, and abuse, hurl the shit out of me, you know. But how do I tell them that you can't really justify and tell them or show them that I'm actually a dog lover? Okay, one fine morning it was me who always used to clean Mahi's bartan, you know, where, and it was me who would always fetch her from the storeroom. It was me जो उसको रोज़ हर सुबह पानी देते थे, उसको ट्रीटोस देते थे, उसको अकेला नहीं छोड़ती थी, वो मेरे ही कमरे में बैठे रहते. एंड अ डॉग विल ओनली गेट ऑन योर बेड. Ask any dog lover if the dog is really really comfortable with you and your presence. और माहिम से मेरे ही बेड पे चढ़ती थी, you know. उसके सूसू के कपड़े भी मैं साफ़ करती थी. One day it was like 2:30 in the afternoon and I did not have my breakfast, I did not have my lunch, and I just sat to have my food after showering, and I said कि ठीक है यार, somebody else can clean her poop, and you term me and run an entire freaking episode of how I'm so not a dog lover is really not justified. How can you justify to the audience कि बॉस ये सब कुछ तो आपको दिखाया नहीं ना 24/7 में आपको दिखाते, ना जो 1 घंटे का टेलीकास्ट होते हैं उसमें आपको दिखाते. लेकिन अगर मैं बोल दूँ कि हाँ आप बदमाश हो, आप बदमाश हो, तो ऑडियंस भी यही मानेंगे ना. और अगर होस्ट भी आपको बोल दे कि उस टाइम पे कि हाँ आपने ये किया है, सो इट्स लाइक पत्थर का लकीर, इट्स लाइक अ स्टैम्प ऑन द स्टैम्प पेपर, एंड यू रियली कांट प्रूव योरसेल्फ. हाउ यू सपोज टू प्रूव योरसेल्फ?
Also, you know, this entire hullabaloo around you planning the show or that love angle with Charlene was also unnecessarily blown out of proportion, is what I feel. But did that affect your image after you came out from the show?
I don't think so, because you know what, Nawaz, I had already built a career. I've already built an image over the past few years, you know, like I'm in this industry since 26 years, okay, and then after on the 26th year I went for Big Boss. So 26 साल से मैंने जो प्यार कमाया है, मैंने जो इज्जत कमाया है, मैंने जो रिश्ते कमाए हैं अपने फैंस के साथ, वो कभी तो काम आएगा ना. So actually it did backfire on the makers and on Farah also to some extent, you know, and people started
Exactly.
trolling her ki you did not even let her speak. I have nothing against her. I've always respected her with all my heart and I've always looked up to her. But लोग कुछ तो जानते हैं मेरे बारे में, so वो प्यार कभी तो काम आएगा. So yes, I wouldn't say that it did affect my career or it did affect my image. No, nothing at all. Immediately in like 15 days time, I was doing Hum Rahe Na Rahe Hum on Sony. So मेरा कुछ भी नहीं गया, you know.
Okay, what's your take on love?
I believe in love. I'm a hardcore romantic, बारिश में भीगने वाला person. Love to
But
go
you
on
think
movie
you've been
dates
lucky
and all
at
of that.
love or unlucky at love, or probably
Very unlucky. This is what happens when you actually, you know, जब आप किसी चीज़ के पीछे बहुत ज़्यादा भागते हो ना, I think वो चीज़ आपसे ना भाग जाते हैं. So sometimes you just have to let it go. So this is what I'm doing right now. I'm just letting it go. I'm like right time पे सही इंसान आ जाएंगे who is going to sweep me off my feet and take me. No, not actually sweep me off my feet, but woo me. Actually, if the person is going to sweep me off my feet, then I'm going to fall flat on my bum and it's going to hurt me real hard. So yeah, I want someone who's going to love me and respect me and care for me.
Is marriage on cards?
Yes, if I find the right guard, why not?
Okay, last question coming your way. I want to know what is your take on ego, and probably, you know, does it make a person or break a person?
Ego actually breaks a person. It can never make you. And ego is something which you should always keep it aside. And especially when in terms of relationship, ego kabhi nahi hona chahiye, you know.
Absolutely.
Bilkul bhi nahi. Especially if you're friends with someone or if you're dating someone, it's just one life, yaar. Matlab, क्या पता कल होना हो. सो वाई टू हैव ईगो क्लैशेस एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. सो व्हेन आई एम डेटिंग ऑल्सो अ पर्सन, मुझे ऐसा लगता है यार झगड़ा कर होता है. हर इंसान के लाइफ में झगड़ा होता है. नोबडी कैन से दैट यू नो आई हैव नेवर हैड एनी फाइट्स इन माई एंटायर लाइफ, बी इट विद माई पेरेंट्स और बी इट विद माई सिबलिंग्स और बी इट विद माई बॉयफ्रेंड और फ्रेंड्स और वट एवर. सबके रिश्ते में झगड़े होते हैं. बट इफ़ यू लैच ऑन टू इट कि मुझे ऐसा कैसा बोला या ऐसे कैसे बोल सकते हैं, एंड लैच ऑन टू इट, एंड देन ऑफकोर्स फिर ईगो आ जाता है. ओ पहले तुम सॉरी बोलोगे वरना मैं तुमसे बात नहीं करूँगी. फिर क्या होगा, एक दिन आप झगड़ा करेंगे, यू नो द एंटायर डे यू नॉट गोना टॉक. देन दैट वन डे आई हैव नोटिस्ड, you know, with my experience, I'm saying that one day adds up to 2 days, 1 week, then you're not talking to each other for a week, and there comes a time when you're not talking to each other for 15 days, for a month or so. You know, I feel दूरियों में बदल जाती है. So this is what ego does to it. So just let go of it and keep aside your ego and just say, hey, it's okay, I feel bad, next time don't repeat this, I'm sorry, you are sorry, hug it out and just be happy, because one life.
Amazing. So that is Tina Datta for us, who lives life as it comes, living every moment, enjoying full of it, and, you know, being happy with everything that she has. Thank you so much for removing
Thank
time and
you
doing
for
this
having
with
me.
us.
Thank
And
you.
I wish you all the success in life.
Thank you so much. Thank
you so
Thank
much.
you. Love you. Thank you. Hey guys, this is Tina Datta and you are watching me on Bollywood Bubble.